Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
Welcome to WholeCEO with Lisa G. I'm so excited today. We're sitting down with Dr. Peter Greenlaw. He co-authored the books, Why Diets Are Failing Us, the TDOS Syndrome. He also conducted more than 1,500 lectures around the world. He's featured speaker on Autism One. Peter is currently finishing up a new television series called The Greenlaw Report. The Greenlaw Report will feature some of the world's leading health scientists, medical doctors, researchers, including Mark Ruggiero, Dr. John Gray, from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I love that book. He was guest on Fox 5 morning show and On the Green Carpet. I love it. That is such a cool name. ABC Windy City Live, New Year's resolution show. So Peter Greenlaw, I am so excited to welcome you to the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I've seen your research and I'm very impressed. And I know there's so many people struggling right now with their weight. And I wanted to ask you personally, how can we be unstoppable in our weight?
Well, in research, the very first thing you understand is you've got to understand the magnitude of a problem before you can ever come up with a solution or even think you need a solution, right? So the problem is that everything, basically, this will make people mad or excited or not, whatever, but everything we thought we knew about diet, nutrition, and exercise is 100% wrong. What we failed to recognize, it has nothing to do with counting calories. It has everything to do with what's inside the calories. So let's take three quick examples. An orange from 30 years ago. Today, you have to eat 8 oranges to equal 1 orange from 30 years ago. Right. An apple, about a dozen, and a bowl of spinach from 1953 to today, you'd have to eat about 40 bowls of spinach to equal 1 bowl of spinach. So the whole concept, I'm going to eat healthy, doesn't exist. Right. So let's deal with, okay, so what's causing America to explode? We got 75% of America overweight.
Is it in the soil that's making our apples and oranges?
Yeah, it's the pesticides and the herbicides that we use in the soil that destroyed the soil's ability to supply us with nutrients. Because the concept is we eat whatever they eat if it's a plant or an animal. Right. So if the minerals and the nutrients aren't in the soil that the plant can use, then we don't get them. Right. And what's happening to us in this country, we have something called metabolic inflexibility, which simply means we're burning sugar and simple carbohydrates instead of burning what the body was intended to do, and that's to burn fat. Right. Give you an idea, we store 2,000 calories in the body in sugar. We store 100,000 calories in the body in fat. And the problem is none of the diets, and this is scientifically proven, remove 1 ounce of fat from the body. They only decrease lean muscle mass, and you lose water on every diet. I don't care what, go to Barnes and Noble, list all the diets because they've all been scientifically tested. They don't work. So the reason is, do you believe we're living in an incredibly toxic world?
Absolutely. I feel like wheat, like people want it, they think they're eating healthy when they're eating wheat bread. I personally don't feel wheat is healthy. And the same thing with the animals and the chickens, all kinds of stuff that we're eating. If it's not organic, farm raised, gluten-free, I feel like we are eating toxins.
Well, the scientific evidence proves it. For example, the average adult would have between 500 and 1,000 chemicals stored in the outer layer of fat. That's the jiggly fat called adipose. Ooh. But the underlying, the visceral fat. And here's the thing. There is no diet today, none, zero, that removes toxins from the body, except what we're going to talk about today, which is intermittent nutritional fasting, which has got peer-reviewed clinical studies behind it. No other diet is removing toxins from the body, reducing adipose and visceral fat, and listen to this, lowering inflammation. No diet does
All
it.
that's
No-
important. So how can we be unstoppable in our weight and lose weight without going on a diet?
Because the first thing you have to become aware of is that you have to avoid the things that are causing you to store the toxins. I'll give you one that'll horrify people. Never drink tap water. Because tap water, because of the chlorine, it destroys our gut.
Mhm.
And when you destroy your gut bacteria, then again, you have all kinds of problems processing nutrition and all the other kind of things that, come along with that. So in terms of being unstoppable, the first thing is to become aware. Okay. I mean, do you
No
understand?
tap water, no.
No, well, but another thing, the reason you don't want to eat processed food, when that enters the body, it actually causes an immune system response. It's a
Right.
foreign substance. And in this COVID era, don't you think we need a maximum on our immune system?
Absolutely.
Here's what's so sad. Do you know 73% of the people dying from COVID are obese?
I know the premorbidities, the comorbidities,
Yep.
pre-existing conditions.
So diets don't work for two reasons. First of all, because our food is nutritionally bankrupt, it doesn't supply our body with the fuel for the body to remove the toxins from the body. That's the first thing. The
Right.
second, the stupidest thing anybody ever did was count calories, because the body can't count calories. The body doesn't care about calories.
Right.
The only thing that should matter to us is what's in the calorie. And
Right.
that's the problem with so many of these diets, okay? And whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's Jenny Craig, whether it's even the heart healthy diet, which is held up by the cardiologist as the gold standard platinum diet. On that, people lost water and lean muscle. And they were in starvation mode, and their metabolism slowed down. Because again, it makes sense, right? If you're going to lower the calories, you're already lowering the terribly deficient nutrition we have in our food. And even if it's organic, which I recommend, but in 200 studies, they proved that organic nutritionally is really no different than regular food. No different. It's less polluted, but it's not different nutritionally. And the body runs on nutrition.
So organic food is not the answer?
No, definitely
So
not. Well,
for
200 studies prove that it's no different nutritionally than regular food.
Oh my gosh, so what is the answer, or completely, can you educate my audience on what is the difference between intermittent fasting and intermittent nutritional fasting?
Okay, so all the theories for years, they've said, if you want to live the longest, healthiest life, reduce your calories and do intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting, there's two versions where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat for 8, or you do water and lemon for 24 hours, okay? Not me. Harvard has come out and said it's the biggest scam on the planet because the only thing people are losing is water and muscle mass. They're averaging about a pound a week. You can do that at Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, whatever. But here's the problem. Because as you reduce the calories, like I said, you reduce the nutrition, the body goes immediately into starvation mode. So on those diets, you're storing fat and burning muscle.
So
That's why it's so dangerous.
Calories?
What
Is
you
that what
say?
you're saying? Is it eating more calories then?
No, it's less calories with more nutrition. And so you have to be able to supply the body with what's missing from our food. Primarily, the number one thing we're missing are minerals. Now you've heard of iron and calcium, magnesium, but there's actually 70 that we need, like gold and silver and zinc and molybdenum and boron in this wide array. In the best organic food, you're going to get 15 out of 70.
Wow.
15 out of 70, okay? So again, you have to be able to find, and I write about it in my books, that these experts have taught me, these are the things that we're missing from food that you want to put back in. We're not talking about supplements, okay? We're talking about minerals. And the second thing we're the most deficient in are amino acids. Did you know, for example, when you eat protein, whether it's from an animal or a vegetable, it's a foreign substance. It's a toxic substance to the body. Did you know that?
No, I did. I
Okay.
think those toxic substances on the regular.
No. Now, here's the thing. It sounds like an oxymoron, right? We can't live without protein. Why? Because it's only protein that supplies the body with the 20 amino acids that we need. 20, okay? The problem is that when we ingest a protein, a small percentage of it is actually converted. The amino acids are used by the body to remake us. So we're going to remake our stomach twice this month. We'll remake our livers twice this year, and we'll remake every cell in our body once every 7 years. That doesn't happen with fats. It doesn't happen with carbs, and it doesn't happen with the protein. It happens with what's inside the protein, those 20 amino acids. And those amino acids react with our genes, of which we have 22,000. Take a guess. How many proteins do you think the human body makes?
I have no idea.
22,000 only made by amino acids. Now, the problem is, again, if you eat steak or chicken or fish or pea protein or rice protein, you're getting all 20. But that's not what matters. What matters is what the genes are able to utilize out of 100%. All animal proteins, the maximum absorption is 30%.
So what is the answer? I'm not understanding how do you get the intermittent nutritional fasting?
By supplying your body with these elements that are missing in a very specific protocol that you do. There's 2 days a week when you do a 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, where you're fasting with nutrition, with very few calories, but massive amounts of nutrition. Again, backed up by clinical studies, not Peter Greenlaw's opinion, that this is proving to remove the fat from the body, the toxins from the body, and lowering inflammation. No other diet does that. None, zero, okay? So the point is that what you don't use in amino acids is turned into toxic waste that your kidneys have to get rid of, like urea and creatine and ammonia. That's why when people are on kidney dialysis, they don't want to have a lot of protein, because most of the protein is turned into toxic waste that the kidneys have to deal with. So it's completely opposite of what we've been told. But see, without these minerals and without these amino acids, all bets are off. So let's say you eat grass-fed, hormone-free steak. I mean, I live in Colorado. That's what I eat, right?
Right.
But I'm getting 30% of 100%, okay? And I don't have, but there's a way that you can actually get 90%. 90%. And so that's a major change and that's the protocol that we use within intermittent nutritional fasting to give you the 70 minerals in food that is missing from food, plus the ability of your own body to extract, instead of 30% of the aminos, 90% of the aminos. Again, proven clinically, not some sales hype, okay? That's what makes it completely different.
Well, that's so interesting. I just want to ask one other question for you.
Sure.
So I know that you do a lot of work on toxicity, and I know a lot of people are getting autoimmune disease lately. Is that because of all the toxins in our soil?
Well, in our air, in our food, in your dry cleaning, Scotch Guard, Teflon. Do you know, they estimate 99% of the people in the world have Teflon in their bodies.
Oh,
99%. I mean, see, we're ignoring this. It's like, cigarette smoking didn't cause cancer till it did. So these toxins are like a ticking time bomb. But look at the explosion in things like autism. In 1990, it was 1 in 10,000. I spoke at Autism One. You know what the numbers are now? 1 in 64.
it's sad. I mean, it's so sad. And what is the answer to detox then?
Well, there's that is the protocol that I worked with one of the top leading nutritional research scientists in the world. It's a combination of intermittent nutritional fasting, something called protein pacing, and the protocol I invented called R2M. It's those three things in combination. So it's not just what they're ingesting, but it's how they're ingesting it. It's like how they're preparing the food makes an enormous difference, And that's what we teach people, how to do. So it's not just a matter of taking something. It's not like just going on a diet because they don't work, but this is, so imagine, we see people consistently lose as much weight in 4 days as in 8 weeks of diet and exercise. I have a young man in Alabama, 25 years old, 5'10", 420 pounds.
Oh my
now,
God.
based on your experience, what would you think would be a lot of weight someone could lose in 30 days on a diet?
Well, I know you're going to say like 100 pounds or something.
92.2 pounds and 65 inches in 30 days. 30 days, not 30 weeks. You show me anything on planet Earth like that. And we have the science, not me, but the researchers to back this up. And despite that massive weight loss, he lost no water and he gained lean muscle. You show me any diet that can perform like that. It doesn't exist.
Well, so how can people find you so that they can find out more about intermittent nutrition?
They can go to
detoxing, all this stuff.
www.intermittentnutritionalfasting.com. So intermittentnutritionalfasting.com. And that's how they can get a hold of me, and we'll get back to you. We actually have coaches that will answer the questions and figure out, how they can incorporate this into their lives. Because obviously, as you know, it's a pandemic. I mean,
Absolutely.
obesity is it's the worst thing on the planet because it leads
I
to
agree.
62 other diseases.
Well, Peter Greenlaw, thank you so much for this information. You're a wealth of information and I appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.